Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Talon Cards podcast. Today, Ethan and I are talking about the strategy of the two-player game Schnapsen. If you're unfamiliar with the game, it's a two-player trick-taking game where the goal is to reach 66 points and then claim. It's a little bit complicated. If you're interested in learning the games, you can head over to pagat.com and check out the rules there. I hope you enjoy. I don't know what was the hardest part. I mean, how would you teach? How would you teach it? Like, what part would you go first? I feel like I never
Uh,
know if I teach if I should teach the play phase, the phases. There's like two different ones,
mhm.
or if I should do
It was a bit confusing, the Talon versus the non-Talon,
like the
which,
closed and the
yeah,
open. Yeah.
yeah, that was a bit confusing. But I think the part that I really didn't understand was actually kind of easy, which was the marriages. Like those were not super obvious to me right away.
Oh,
I've
really?
never heard of something like that. So
Yeah, it's like a marriage group. There's quite a few games
yeah,
like that, but you never played any of them.
no, I haven't. But yeah, I think generally speaking, the open versus closed part was fine as long as you explain every you can play any card while it's open, but while it's
Right.
closed, you have to follow suit and beat, or follow suit and lose,
Yeah.
or play trump.
Right. I mean,
So
that's the best part of it. That's the main. I don't know what's the main for me. The key thing about the game is like when do you close
mm-hmm.
versus because closing changes the rules. When you change the rules, you now can force things before it's open.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to get the 10. The opponent has a king, or they have a 10. You want to get the points, but they can always sidestep whatever you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really,
Yeah.
do we
Yeah,
when
no,
do we
it's
close?
I actually never really I only closed once, I think, the entire round yesterday.
Yeah.
You were always closing. I never knew when to close. That's probably the most strategic part of the game, knowing when to close.
It's yeah. So I have like when I was playing the times I've played, I have I'm trying to keep track of my score in my head, and then I kind of have like a vague like, okay, he's got this many cards, but I can't keep track of both of the points. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget. I think you were trying to do that, right?
I was keeping track of both yours and mine for most of the games, but I wasn't very precise. I would say I was within 10 points of
Okay,
your
you're
score
I'm
every
off.
time.
I'm off 1 point. Like at one hand, you're like, oh, I'm off 1 point. Terrible. How could you do that? Be off 1 point of my score, and I was
Well,
off six.
it is it's a weird game because there's so much as a player. You can know like what you have in your hand, what's been played. So now what the other person basically has, what's
I
in their
totally forget
hand.
every time.
There's a lot of stuff to remember, and it's kind of insane.
No, yeah. But what I would do is I'd think, okay, I have 10 points and I have ace, ace, ace. Okay, if I close right now, I'm probably going to get all three aces. Okay, so that's at least 33 points right there. So, okay, if I have 20 right now, I'm at 50. Let's think, how many points am I going to get from Ethan? Well, I might get 10 points at least. Maybe, hope, probably some more. So I'm going to close and go for it.
Um,
I mean, that's what I
yeah,
was doing.
I did not do that very well. I did not. I struggled with that a lot.
There's the
But
one I closed at 7 or something. I had 7 points. I had like four aces or like
that
all
was
aces or
insane.
something. Or
Anyone. It was crazy.
oh yeah,
Oh, but yeah, no. I mean, some rounds I went for just straight. I went for just straight marriages. Like I would throw away tens and aces to keep my kings and
yeah,
queens.
yeah. Do we go for marriage or do we go for the straight the points? Like,
Yeah.
how much do we give importance to the kings and the queens? Because I
Hmm.
often would be I start okay.
Well,
I have a
if you have a king of the trump suit, I feel like that's like one of the most valuable cards in the deck.
I wouldn't give it away. Yeah, I mean unless you
It's
all the trumps I try to keep.
Well, yeah, but the king. I mean, a royal Trump,
The king.
a royal
Marriage,
marriage
yeah.
is a game winner. That's a
Oh yeah,
game over right there.
pretty much.
An
But
instant game.
I found it better to not give. I don't know. I would like in the later rounds we were playing. I would not give. I would not give too much importance to
Mhm.
it. Like it just seems too
Yeah.
much of okay. If I get the king, the queen, I'm happy. If I have a jack to throw away beforehand, I'll throw a jack away. But I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
What were
throw
you
my
usually
10.
doing at the start of the games? Were you throwing jacks
Yeah, I was throwing
for your
jacks because
first card?
if I think about okay, out of all the cards to throw in the beginning, okay, a king and
Hmm.
a queen combine to make the marriage. So I don't want to just I know you can beat anything or not beat. Not only that, I know that the card that I play is going to be gone. So instantly, if I give away a king and a queen, although I'm not directly going for marriages, my strategy developed to that. Um, I give it away, right? The king and a queen, I'll give it away. Therefore, I wouldn't have it. So I couldn't. If I play king or queen at the beginning, I wouldn't have it. So okay, that's off the table. Now 10 and an ace, well, that's super high points. So if I play any
Hmm.
10 or ace besides trump, 10 or ace, you can easily play trump. So you probably have at least one trump in your hand. Maybe not, but
I was thinking about that, and to be honest, like, yeah, most of the games are started out with the jack because it's like pretty safe.
yeah.
But if you have like an ace of a off trump suit and you play it, it really isn't that bad to lose that hand. Like
Lose
it
are
isn't.
already like 14 points, 15 points.
It's yeah. It's worth points, but I think that like the trump is more valuable in the long run
Really?
than the than the quick 14 points are worth.
I mean, I wouldn't draw. Yeah, I guess it's possible, but also, I mean, you can easily get that ace points, and if you
Hmm.
close, like you have to follow. The
Yeah.
opponent has to follow, so you're definitely gonna get it. Interesting. I have to try it out.
Yeah, I was like sort of I tried that in our last match. It didn't work out too well, but I think that it could work in certain situations. Where you
Okay.
have either both ace and 10 or just the ace and you
Yeah.
just sort of go for it.
Maybe if you have the ace and 10, yeah. But I
Hmm.
felt that the ten is interesting to me
Yeah,
because the
why is that?
10, if let's say I close, the 10 is risky to play unless I know the ace has been played before.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
instantly, the 10 is not like when I close, I think of the ace as okay, this is a secure, I'm getting at 11 points plus whatever you give me,
Hmm.
assuming you have the card, which generally people will have
Yeah,
the suit.
assuming I have one of those suits.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty safe to bet on that. But the 10 feels a little unsafe.
I definitely
So
feel that. Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
true.
okay,
That's for sure.
I'm gonna close, and here's my 10 and my ace, or my 10. Okay, does he have the ace? I don't know. I mean, this is kind of risky. Should I bet on the 10? So I found near the end of us playing, if you played like a king, if you led a king or something, or a queen, I just take it with the 10.
Yeah, yeah.
Like without closing, okay, I'm just gonna take my 10 points.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if it's
I
worth
would
holding.
I would take I would always take it with the 10 unless I had the ace, and then I would take with the ace just to secure that extra point.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I never thought of that.
But I mean, it doesn't really matter that
I
much.
mean, only one
The
point.
we never really had matches that were so close like that.
We're not that good.
But
We're not that good yet. I
uh,
mean,
it's true. It's true.
so what do you think of keeping the points in your head? Because that's like a kind of a unique thing of the game. I mean, you can play, I read on Pagat, you can play soft rules, the soft rules of Schnapsen. You can play where you can look at cards. Like how
Okay.
much does, I don't know, how much does thinking about your score matter? Because I played a few times before we played, and I never really messed up that much, but I messed up once when we were playing.
Yeah, you got 62 points
Yeah,
or
62,
61 was it?
something like
Yeah,
that.
62. Well, I think it isn't that hard to keep track. of your score. But it just seems like it just seems like a hassle sometimes. Like I wasn't keeping track of my score last time, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm short by like 10.
Yeah, you totally forgot. You're like, I call it? Do I not?
Like what's going on? And if you could see what cards you had, it would be I think it would like make the game a little better in terms of like, it's just you get to focus on the actual strategy of the game instead of your memory.
Yeah.
And
It adds like
it's yeah.
it adds a
It
complication.
adds more skill to the game.
You have to
I
keep
don't
track of more things.
yeah. I
Maybe,
don't think I don't think it's a super good rule, but it's all right.
yeah. Maybe if you when I teach it, if you teach it to somebody who's never played, you play soft first. You play where you
Yeah,
can look at it.
I would definitely do that the first couple times. And then as people understand the game more and just get a better feel for the game cuz like that last round I was just doing it based off feel. And even though I didn't know my exact score, I was pretty confident saying I wasn't past 66. I was still short.
Right, you can kind of count the tens and then sort of okay, I got 3, 4 face cards. This is probably around 10 or a little
Yeah.
over 110.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sure.
um,
So what
it
other strategy
well, I
things
think
do you
it
think or
before I
no?
think it depends also if you want to talk or something in the game. You know,
What do you mean by that?
like if I'm trying to like just play friendly, oh, you want to talk about your day while you're playing cards,
Oh
or you want
yeah, yeah.
I can't do that and think about my score. If I'm thinking about my score, I'm be like this. Oh my god, what do I have? Okay, 27, 27, 27. Okay, what card am I playing? Okay, let's play the jack 27, 27. Just repeating it in my head 27, 27. Okay, I won 27 plus 2, 29 plus 3, 32. I have 32. And then if someone tries to talk to me, I'm like, wait, what? I don't know how many cards I have. So I
Yeah.
think it also depends on that.
Well, it's interesting because keeping count of the score kind of forces you to know which cards have been played, or at least
Oh,
the
really?
suit of those cards.
I always
Like for
forgot.
me, I was like, okay, I've got ace spades, ace hearts in my hand, or in my
Really?
yeah, and it was like I had the cards that I had gathered in my head and counted them up for my score usually, and I had your cards in my head,
Oh,
and then I
wow.
was sort of trying to figure out what else was left.
Yeah, my
But
memory is not that good. I just knew I score. I had the number in my head. I had no idea what cards would play. Like, does he have the Ten of Hearts? I better hope he has Ten of Hearts. It's like that one time I was kind of betting on you. I was like, I played eight. We closed it. I was Ace of Hearts, and you played the Ten of Hearts. I was, what? You only have one?
I
What?
only had one.
You
Yeah,
only had
that
one of the
was
trump?
that was
Thank
so
goodness.
bad. Yeah,
Oh
no.
wow.
Or when I had played that ace, you thought you were gonna lose. I played the ace of clubs and I lose that hand.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, but
No.
in terms of other strategy, I was trying to think of how to play around. Like you can change the jack. If you have the jack in your hand,
Yes.
you can replace it with the whatever trump is face up.
Hmm.
But I have I have a thought that maybe that could be used to kind of fake out the opponent. Like I just feel like
I don't think so.
if there's
I
like a
don't think
king, if there's
so.
like a king on the bottom,
Yeah.
like why do I need and you have maybe the queen in your hand.
Hmm.
You're like, oh, okay, I can play to that, try and get this king. You can play a different way, but I was like hold it. But then if you hold it too long and then you mess up, you can't get it.
I don't know. Like if you have the queen of the trump suit in your hand and the king is visible
Yeah,
under the card, obviously you want to lose that last hand really
yeah.
bad. And if for some reason on the last thing you say, "Oh, I got the jack by the way," you know, that would
Well,
really screw things up.
it kind of
But
it changes. I feel like it might change your strategy, the point strategy, because if I have the queen in my hand and I see the king in there, I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, I'm losing last hand. That's all I know.
I don't
Is
even
I'm
need to really. I just need to like mitigate until I get to the end. Lose the last hand. Like keep a useless jack in my hand. Like
mhm.
get 20 points and then just mitigate stuff. And then we get to the end, bam, lose it and take it. And then you're like,
Honestly though, I really don't think that if both people were playing well, I don't think the other person would let you have it.
hmm,
I can't think of a situation in which they would. Like, let's say you play Jack of Diamonds and like Spades is Trump,
yeah,
and he could just play a
any
random
other one
heart
and just wouldn't
or
care.
a random
Yeah.
club and just say, you know what, take the points. I'm not gonna let you have this royal because I know I don't have the queen. I'm gonna take the king.
Now, can you use that to if you're doing
Maybe
this
you
now?
can because
Now, if I think
if he's too afraid of the king, then if he's too afraid of the queen, then he might like say, "Oh, I'm gonna take the last card," but what if the second last card was the queen? It's
but
like,
now you're thinking to yourself, okay, if my opponent knows that I probably have the queen, okay, my opponent's gonna not let me, so he's gonna have to lose the last one. So what? How can what can I do to win the last one?
so
So
now,
I get
yeah,
the
now
points, and then I'll start
yeah,
leading for the closed when the town is closed. I mean, maybe I'm just overthinking this way too much,
hmm
and it actually has zero impact on anything. You just okay, you get the jack, replace it, get a better card.
I messed that up consistently though. I
How did you
consistently
mess
was
it
like,
up?
well, because I consistently was like, I'm gonna win the last hand and just go up the extra points, and I wasn't really thinking of the
Oh,
long
you didn't think
term.
about the Trump.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking of how valuable the Trump would be after
Right,
the Talon closes, and it was
right.
like, yeah, that was bad by me. But
Now, what cards were you trying to? Was it when you were playing? Were you
mhm.
trying at all to keep certain suits in your hand or get rid of a suit?
Yeah, I don't know. I was going back and forth about that actually. Like, is it good to have like ace 10 king of an off trump suit? Is it good to have that or not? It
Oh,
can be good because like if you close the talon, then you can force out a lot of trumps
mhm,
early on. Like you can force out like one or two, play the ace, force out his heart,
yeah.
and then like force out a trump after that. But
You really can't have too much of it when it's closed. Too much of the same suit because as soon as you get all of them gone, the opponent now plays Trump.
mhm.
This is where I got really lucky. Where I was, when I played that ace and you had the only the 10 left
Yeah.
because I had the ace of hearts and then I had four other spades or clubs. I don't remember which one it was. And I was thinking to myself, if I play this, I know he probably has one of the suit,
Mhm.
but you're gonna win all these other cards. It's terrible. So I said I'll play the ace and just hope for the best, and it worked
Yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
I I tried to keep part.
What is the optimal deck for the close? Do you want one of each suit? Do you want like what do you want for the close? Do you
For the
think?
close.
Because
High cards.
I don't think you want one of each suit. Well, obviously you want high
High
cards.
cards.
Obviously you want trumps.
Whatever works. Yeah, all Trump. That's optimal. Every Trump. There you go.
I closed the talon with 5 trumps in my hand. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get 5 times for it being bam, close, we're done. It's fine. No, I would say you could play with one of each suit.
You
I
think
mean,
so?
I
If
think
they're
so
like
because
highs.
if you have that's if you well, here's the
It's so
problem.
much about who's leading though and who's following
This also
because like
you have to when you close, you need to stay in the
yeah, you
if
have to
you
stay in the
don't
lead.
stay in the lead, you're in danger zone.
Mhm.
Because now you're in danger zone. Now, okay, we played 2 cards before. Now I only have 3. I'm missing a club.
The
If
thing
Ethan
about it,
plays a club, I am screwed because I got to give up something else.
what I felt like was if you if you're leading though, you don't really want one of each suit. You kind of just want like you can well sometimes like you I feel like you kind of just want like to play a high club, to play a high spade, to force out a trump card, with one of your high trumps, and then just to hopefully just have all of one suit remaining and just be able to win, 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 win.
If you have only one suit remaining, it only works if the
If
opponent has
he's
no
out of
trump.
trumps. Yes.
So you just can't have. I think it's just dangerous to have too much of one suit. If you're missing one, if you're missing a suit, it doesn't matter too much, because assuming you keep the lead, or if you have some trump, if you lose the lead, you can play trump or whatnot. As long as you have the aces and maybe it's a tens, you'll be fine. But now let's say you're missing two suits. Okay, that means you at least you have 3 to 4 of one suit. Now it's like, okay, what has been, now it really depends on what has been played. Because
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And even 3 of one suit is dangerous because only 2 can land. I mean, one's going to be unmatched, and someone's going to play trump to it. Just hope that the 3 is. Hope the majority is the one with trump. You have the most trump.
I mean, all I know is every time you closed the Talon, I was in dread. I was ready for the game to be over. I thought it was over because, I was like, okay, he's just gonna win the next 4 to 5 trick, and I'm gonna be sat here.
I only lost
watching.
one, I think.
Yeah.
That one where I miscounted my cards, and even that one, I could have won the last trick, and it's been totally fine. Yeah, but also in terms of trump, because as I was, when you have a lot of trump in the end, it's really good. But do you just keep trump? Do you never play trump in the beginning, in the first phase?
I played trump once. You saw me play that king of trump early on.
Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know if there's
held.
ever really a point to play trump early. I was
Only if you
trying
have
out some
tens.
different strategies, but only if you have what?
Only if you have 10. If I had
If I had a royal, maybe I would
okay, if you have
lead.
royal marriage. But I'm
Yeah.
saying if I had ace of hearts trump, ace of hearts, king of hearts, jack of hearts, 10 of spades,
Oh yeah.
ace of clubs. I'm not gonna play the 10 of spades and ace of clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play
Well,
jack.
if you
trump.
had that hand, you have 3. So you have ace, you have king. You said you have jack. Is queen exposed under the thing? Because then I feel like you could play ace and just hope that the other guy has the 10.
Yeah, but if they can dodge it with anything else. If it's open still.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not gonna play my ace of spades and my 10 of clubs.
Yeah.
Right, that's too much points. You're gonna take it with a trump. Assume maybe you have a trump, maybe you don't. But I feel like I'm just gonna play my jack of hearts. I mean,
No.
okay, no.
No. I think you go for it.
You give away
You go for the
points.
points.
Oh, okay.
Because I think the trumps are too valuable to
How
give away.
valuable? What are you
I
gonna
think
win
they're
with that
too
jack?
valuable.
You're gonna win 2 points for the jack, and then are you really gonna win an
No.
ace or a 10?
No, you're gonna win. You're gonna win everything with the jack. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
You don't know how valuable that is. No, I think when it closes, it's all about trumps.
But even that, I feel, what are you gonna win with the jack? Okay, jack is worth, okay, maybe jack can win, but jack is worth 2 points.
Jack can win 12. 12
Jack
points.
can win 12, but are you gonna win 12? Especially if you closed it. If you closed it,
yeah.
When are you gonna play the jack? Well, okay, the jack is only played when you can't lead the jack immediately because
Obviously you lead your high trumps first,
right? Okay,
and force out his high trumps.
Okay,
and then
so
you
he doesn't have any trump left.
And then you play the jack. And
then you play the jack, and then they play what? Their low card that they have because they gotta throw it away.
Yeah.
And you got 5 points because you won a queen. And you're like, oh darn, I
It's
should have.
still a free win. It's still a free win.
I said a free win. You know what I'm saying, though? I mean,
I do
how
know what you're
much
saying.
points
Like,
do? How like you have to think how many points are you gonna win with the jack?
okay, so you're saying if I played the ace of clubs and you have the jack of trump in your hand, you play jack of trump
Right.
instantly.
Yeah, I
What
do.
about queen of
If you played
trump
the queen,
with the marriage
oh, what I played the still possible,
still possible? We just started.
and
This is
you
the
and
first
you led
hand.
immediately with an ace.
Yeah, you have no idea if I have the king or not. You have the queen though.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Same thing with the king, I assume.
Yeah,
What about the 10?
no, I wouldn't take it.
Okay.
Well,
So that's the
darn,
line.
I don't know. Do
I
I
mean,
take
I would
it?
be tempted to take it with
I'm
the
tempted
ace
right now.
because 22 points sounds pretty good.
Yeah, 22 points right there. Bam. Ah, you know, I would not take it with the ace.
I'm almost more tempted with the ace than I am with the jack.
I would only take it with the I would if you played ace, I'd only trump with a trump ace if I had also the trump 10.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
if the trump 10 was out there, I would never take with the ace.
Okay.
Similar, well, now if I only had the 10, and it's
Mhm.
okay, you either get the ace or if I win with the 10.
The 10 may not be that valuable depending on, if you get the ace or not. And if you get the ace, you might as well spend the 10 earlier.
Oh, yeah. I
Early.
mean,
Like,
but the problem is now. Previously, I said I get rid of the 10 to win a king.
but 10 is a way for you to lead later in the game.
But
That's the
10 of
thing.
Trump is like a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, 10 of Trump. No,
The
now
problem
we
is
can lead and
is
win,
you need
always
to
win.
lead. You need to lead at some point in the game. You need to take the lead.
Yeah,
And that is a great card to take the lead with.
sure.
10 of Trump.
I mean, it's a great card during the close.
It's a great card in general. Well, it's
You know,
not a
it
great card.
happens to be the
It's
second
not a
best card
great
in the
card if
game.
it's your only Trump
Oh,
and you think the other person has the
ace.
ace of
Oh,
Trump.
yeah.
Then it's a pretty bad card.
Oh,
But
yeah, that was bad. No, I think that, I don't know. I'd have to think really hard. I probably would take it if
I want to try it a few times in an actual game and see if that's a real thing.
like see if it works.
Playing for the point, playing a higher card early on, and just sort of like saying, you know what, I don't really care if you waste your trumps early because, well, if you win like 12 points with a jack, I don't think it's that, or like you win 13 points with a jack on the
Yeah.
ace. I don't think it's that valuable. I don't think that that's
13
that
points, not
good.
valuable.
No, I think that's mediocre.
Why is that mediocre? That's like the fourth, fifth best scoring in the game that you could get.
Well, I'm not saying it's a bad score, but I'm saying
No,
like
that's not true, but
you need 66.
okay,
So
you gotta
like
get there somehow.
exactly.
You say,
But I'm
he
gonna
played it.
I'll
I'll
have
just
an extra
give away
trump.
this ace. I give away this ace.
I
I
wouldn't
get
give
there
away two.
eventually.
I would not give away two.
Only one.
I'd only give away one. I put it out there and see like who I'm going
Now let me
against.
tell you this. Let's think about this.
Yeah.
I don't even have to play trump. If you lead with the ace,
Yeah.
I can just play a jack or something else. Okay, you win. You
Okay.
get
I would
13
I'm
points.
happy because
You're happy,
I'm happy.
but you
I'm
could
happy.
in the future you could close, play ace, force out of 10, and you have
Yeah,
21
but
points.
you're correct. You're correct.
So you're happy with
But
13?
I'm happy. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
You
I
play
agree
all
with
your
you that could
aces. You
happen.
play every ace.
So, but what if you had the ace and the 10? Would you feel more comfortable with that then? Playing the ace? Or no?
If I had the ace and the 10, I would feel more comfortable, but I'd never do it
You never do it. Wow. Okay.
because I think
I
I
do
think
agree with
it's
you. You know what? That's a good point in that I feel like maybe you need the ace and the 10 to do it,
yeah, but I
to make it
think
more
even at
viable.
I disagree with you in the fact that I don't think it's worth the Trump. I think Trump is less
Mm,
valuable than 13 points.
wow. Okay. I think the Trump is more valuable, but
I mean, depending on Trump. But
yeah.
all right, well, we'll have to try it out in the future.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you for listening to the first episode of the Talon Cards podcast. If you want to learn more about card games, or if you're interested in listening to another episode of the podcast, please head over to talon.cards. Again, thank you very much for listening.